Hello and welcome to another video on my channel. And today we're kind of back in the grainy, dark, and mysterious vibe. Let me close the window so you won't hear the city noises. God damn it. Oh, it's so comfortable. Oh my god. Why? This is my friend, Philip. I love him. I thought he would arrive in the mail way larger than he really is, but the size really doesn't matter, you know. Um, anyway, the mic was so far, I don't even know if you could hear me or anything. But yeah, today, actually, I wanted to speak with you about my experiences smoking weed. Yeah. Now, I don't know how I will be able to get in the comfortable position which I was in a second ago. It was so comfortable. I cannot even stress to you how comfortable. Stress is the right word. How comfortable it was. Oh, yeah, okay, I'm good now. Okay. But you can't really see me. You know, I'm struggling with like the lighting and situation, like whatever is happening right now, because like I'm filming from a different computer. Yeah. So it's a bit different. Like this camera is not as the quality is not as good, but I don't care because I still look cute. And honestly, without this ring light that is yellow right now, okay, it's this camera is so fucked up that if it wasn't yellow, I would be gray. You know, like because it has no fucking color. Like I don't know. This is a HP, standard laptop. Like I don't know. I got him as a present from my dad that actually was supposed to give me a different it's it's a story, not the one I'm here to tell though. Maybe one day I will tell you how crazy my dad is, but I hope nothing happens that would make me tell the story, the never ending story. But yeah, so I always have like the feeling that because of my hair, right? I have this feeling that my bra is like sliding off my shoulder, and I come like to like fix it, and it's not, and it's like so annoying, like what the fuck, like because I don't like my bra straps fucking like sliding, that's not ideal, but okay. It's because it's a baggy shirt, so it doesn't know where she wants to go. I'm sorry, I just smacked the microphone. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, let's start with actually smoking weed, Let's actually start with actually smoking weed. Oh. Now, I've started smoking weed only when I was 17 years old. And the funniest thing is that my parents, both of them smoke. My uncles and aunts, all of them smoke cigarettes and weed, and have been smoking. Now it did slide off. You see, it's like it's twisted like that. Sometimes it does slide off, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's just like phantom, and I'm like, yo, I can't with this. It's the most annoying feeling. If you don't wear a bra, then I cannot explain this to you how fucking annoying this is. Um, yeah. So I always grew in an environment that was kind of like correlating to drugs, and the neighborhood that I was in, growing up in. I said a few times here on the channel that I call it the hoods because it was a hood. Like I grew up in a hood. I don't look like the type. I know I'm an angel, but my parents weren't, and they weren't the reason we were living there, but they suited to be from that place. Okay, so yeah. So yeah, when I got older, around like 15, not even, like I would say like 14, 13, like then I knew my parents were doing drugs. Like I started realizing that the water bottle that my parents are blowing into is actually a bong. Like I actually like realized that they're not just blowing into a bottle of water, you know? Like it was a tough realization, but I didn't see it as a bad thing. I actually never saw drugs as a bad thing. It always was. Some people say like addictions are genetic, like it gets ingrained in the DNA, and that makes sense to me, you know. People say it on alcoholism specifically, but addictions is like a whole, Um, and perhaps I was like born with an inclination towards those things genetically, because of the environments I was brought up in, especially also because my parents were on drugs a lot, so not when I they were pregnant, like not when my mom was pregnant with me, but like but all the rest, yeah. So basically, I started like, when you get into like middle school, junior high, you kind of like open up to the idea of weed, not like smoking weed, but just like to think about it, with cannabis, the cannabis industry, like stuff like that. And I only now am realizing, not now like specifically, but like recently, that I have always been interested in cannabis related things, like whether it was hemp bags or like the shape itself of the leaf of cannabis, um, just like the culture around it, like Rastafarian culture and stuff like that, and how it was like peace and love, and like all of the psychedelic 60s. That I'm gonna get into the psychedelics soon as well. I'm a psychonaut. Hello, if you, but I don't like to claim myself as a psychonaut because I'm more of like a person of like LSD therapy, you know, rather than just like going out and trying like all of the psychedelics that are out there. That's less my thing. But yeah, um, so I was 17, right? I was 17, just starting that year a new school, right? Because I just got kicked out of my religious school and I was just starting in a new school. Um, so I met a few people that like I knew in some way, like and we kind of like got reunited, and it was like very cute. Because it was people like I thought I would never have encountered them in like such an environment, like a school, and it was a atheist school, and I came from a religious school, so like it was a whole new world to me in general, okay, in general, and I remember like them vaping in the bathroom for me was like, oh my god, like slay sis, like I wanna hit, like give me a hit, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, yes, queen. Like, because not that I say that it's good, not that I condone, yeah, but me, when I was in high school, because this was in high school when I was 17, when I was in high school, when you're in high school, you like that shit. You want to be hip, you want to be swag, you want to be cool, and you think that's what it means, that what it means. That is, so that's. Because sometimes I step over my words and I like mispronounce words because I like think too fast, and it's my Gemini rising, okay? I speak fast, I think fast. We're on a budget out here. Time is money. Oh damn, I just got a message that I am not gonna elaborate on. But oh my god, today happened the most. Yo, today happened the most. Let me tell you about my 17-year-old self smoking weed, and then I'm gonna fucking tell you about what fucking happened to me fucking today, bruh. You can't make this shit up. But anyway, now that I spiced you up with some excitement, I'm gonna tell you about the fact that I was celebrating my birthday, right, that year. I was 17, celebrating my 17th birthday, you know? And it was just like after COVID and everything like that. And I had like a long time of not having any friends. And, yeah, just was in a very bad position also with my girlfriend at the time. We were like starting to have a lot of tension build up and like starting to feel like ourselves like not being in the right place with each other. You know what I mean? It was like the beginning of that era when my birthday hit. So it was my birthday. And she was there also. Now I remember that she was there. I'm sorry I forgot about you. But yeah, no, she was definitely there. It was my birthday. Of course she was there. So she was there. And my musician cool friends that I met in high school, that new high school, that I also met before in like a youth group street art type thing, that I was there like for years, and they were there like for years. One of them was like for a brief second, but I remembered him specifically. I remembered him. It's Ziskus. He actually does the jingle for my podcast. He's a very talented artist. He doesn't have a lot of works out, but I really recommend you go stream on Spotify, on YouTube, because he actually is a great musician. So I was hanging out with them, right? We were like a trio. All the rest of the people that I invited were like nerds like me who didn't smoke, didn't drink, didn't anything, Would they fucking played PlayStation with my brother. Like literally, like that's what they did. Like, yeah. And then like at the after party when all the nerds left and we like the cool ones, swag ones, they stayed over and they were smoking weed. And they asked me first, like, can we smoke weed here? And I was like, yeah, because like I talked about the fact that my mom smokes weed and like it's not a big deal and shit like that, So they were just like asking me if they can smoke weed in the kitchen. I was like, yeah, sure, my mom doesn't mind, So I went and told my mom, and she was like, yeah, like, did you take a hit? And I was like, nah, why? And she was like, take a hit. It's your 17th birthday, like, do something that a 17-year-old does, because I was like, this earth is beneath me. Like, I've seen it all. Like, I've been such like an old kid. You know how there's some kids who just like climb down from heaven, climb down from heaven, and they're like, what are all of these peasants doing around here? Like, what the fuck? That's how I was feeling. So, and which led me to not do anything a normal teenager does, because also that also made me not have any friends, because I felt like people were beneath me and nobody understood me because I was so dark and mysterious and unique and special and unusual and whatever the saying is. I mixed up all the fucking sayings and stereotypes into one sentence. But yeah. I get distracted sometimes, And when I get distracted, that means I need to light up a joint and relax, because I'm just talking to myself at the end of the day, and I'm hot. I don't know if you guys are looking at the same screen as I am, because I'm hot as fuck. This is the only reason I drop videos consistently, she says, not with a straight face on. It's because I cannot stop staring at myself. I am trying to stop sometimes, but I just can't, That's why I'm late for work sometimes, I just can't stop staring at myself. What can I do? And I was like, okay, sure, like I'll take a hit, like mom says, like take a hit. Am I gonna be a fucking spoiled ass brat and I'm gonna say no and I'm gonna not take a hit from a joint that my that my cool ass musician friends are fucking smoking, bitch. I'm gonna take that fucking hit. But I was also still a bit like, uh, I'm too good for this. I'm gonna take like one hit and I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's enough for me. Like, I'm hard to get, I don't want to get too high. I want to be responsible. I want to get it on the top of my game. Yeah, something like that. And yeah, and that really was it. I took like one hit, two hits, and I felt nothing, absolutely nothing. Cause I actually didn't even know how to inhale properly. But yeah, cause like nobody actually teaches you how you smoke, you know, like and you have to kind of like figure out by yourself how you fucking smoke, you know. Me specifically, a person did have to teach me how to smoke because I wasn't a person who smokes, and I didn't smoke anything before I hit that person's vape, So like, yeah, I don't know why. Something in the cut of my hair around this area is never quite right. Never. And I'm just so frustrated by that sometimes because I look at the viewfinder and I'm like all I want to do is this, just like flatten it out. My girlfriend that was there at the time didn't really like the idea, but she was also 2 years younger than me, which means she was like 14, turning 15 in May of that year. So yeah, it was like weird because she was like small and like I kind of like introduced her to drugs, but like not really because her brother was smoking, and like I don't know, I don't want to think about that. Okay, I'm not here to think about that. I'm here to tell a story. Okay, don't get me questioning my existence. So um yeah, after that, okay, second time I ever smoke in my life is with this exact same trio group, right? This time without my girlfriend because she lives in a different city, whatever, right? Very far, also, I may say. So, like, I was just there with, like, the trio, the cool ass people that I met in high school. And we were just, like, having fun. And, like, I smoked, like, I took, like, 3 puffs. And they made, I think, 2 joints, or like, no, I think they made like 1 joint. I don't know, because now like 1 joint isn't enough, like it's 1 joint each. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But wow, imagine like being like that young and having your tolerance be so like low, and you like going outside on like high on like weed and feeling like you're on an LSD trip. Like, I that literally is how it was. Like, I'm not gonna joke, like literally. So we were just in home that time. We were just like making silly videos. We were just like being silly, listening to music, like dancing, like laughing, like having a great time actually. So it was a very good experience. And I had that thing that problem. I don't know if I still have it, that my eyes would just get so red. My eyes would just get so red. I think sometimes people still today tell me like, "Yo, your eyes are so red." Mostly in like parties and stuff like that. And well, Yeah, like yeah, like the like that's not a cigarette I'm holding, so like of course my eyes are red, you know. Um, so oh, sirens, they're coming after you, bitch. I know who they're coming after, but I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna spoil it because I said I will tell it soon. So I something made me smile. Cause I remembered something cute. Um, the third time I ever smoked weed was with one of my best friends of all time. That actually we're now not as best friends because something happened today, but we were like best friends like since 15 years old, like, and we met at that youth group thing, and yeah, and she was like a hardcore stoner. Like she was a hardcore stoner. She still is. Like if somebody is like, how can I say this? If I could make a tier list, right, of stoners by categories and like grade them that way, you know, she would probably be at the top, you know, if not at the yeah, no, she would probably be at the top, you know, probably. Because I don't know anyone who is more of a real stoner than she is, you know, like she is the most stoner person I know, in the best way possible. um Even though we had a fallout, like I love her, you know. I mean, I know we're gonna like come back to be in contact one day and like whatever. If it's the right thing, I guess. If it's not the right thing, then that's okay too, you know. I respect that, universe. Like, claim, you know. I'm merely a vessel. Uh, so it was me and her after she like kind of like broke up with her boyfriend. Wow, that's like a real story time right here. She broke up with her girlfriend, boyfriend, sorry, around the same time that I broke up with my girlfriend. So, they broke up like a month before. Yeah, that's how I always like remember how long I was with my first ever girlfriend, because she remembers how long she was with him. So it was always like, oh, like just add a month, you know, and like she knows you know, if even I forget. Um, so we were just like hanging out in my room. She said she's gonna sleep over, but her mom is crazy, so she did not let her sleep over. And was like rushing her to the hospital at like 1 a.m. I don't know. Something happened. I remember that she had like an allergic reaction or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, she has the best weed. Okay, when I say she has the best weed, I'm saying she really has the best weed. She yeah. Yeah. Like there is no way you're going to leave a session with her unsatisfied. Like never, right? You're definitely 100 like 95% going to leave more high than you intended to. And again, I do not condone smoking, getting high, drugs. I am just telling you my life story. I don't condone anything other than peace and love and health and healthy mindset and positivity and real true love. When I say love, I mean like actual love, like love for like everything, you know, like preach, you know, like that's what I want you to, that's what I want to condone, you know. But now I'm just like telling you my life story because that's my life and this is my channel, and this is literally why I fucking created this channel. Okay, I'll stop rambling. Okay, she was staying over, and like I said, has like the best fucking weed, and it was like my third time ever smoking weed, and she's a hardcore stoner, and I was like tripping. I was tripping. Like everything was moving in slow motion. Oh my god, I fucking remember that. Like, uh, we grow up so fast. Like man, But I remember like everything was moving in slow motion, and I couldn't like get the smile off my face. My face would just like go into this like motion, and I wouldn't do anything. I would just rest my face, but it would just like tense up in here and like make a smile, and that made me so happy. I was like, oh my god, because when you even fake a smile, you change the sacred geometry of your face in some way, so you change the vibration. And a smile is one that vibrates on a higher vibration, on a higher frequency. So it makes you happy, So it made me happy and enjoy the experience, until she said she had to leave. And then I was like, because like I don't want to go out there, like I don't want my mom to see me, like I don't want, even though she knows I'm smoking and she knows everything, and I was just like, it's not like ideal, I mean, I thought like that at the time, it's not ideal that your parents like seeing you smoke weed. Now that's what I do with my parents, like we sit smoke weed. Like why not, because like that's what we do. We love weed. Like why won't we smoke weed when we sit and chat together, so that's what we do. But yeah, and I remember getting super high, and I couldn't stop eating, because I had these, like I just bought these, because I started working at McDonald's at that time. I was the best and the worst time of my life. I started working at McDonald's. It was my first job ever, my first real job, because beforehand I was working unpaid, unregistered, as an secret employee in my mom's store. It wasn't even my mom's store. She was just like running it, and like sometimes she would have like girls not showing up to work. So I would like be a child that has nothing better to do and doesn't have any friends. So I would just go chill with my mom at her work, and she would just like boss me around, and she was just put like a name tag of one of the workers who like ditched, and she would tell me like go around, like, do facing, and like gave me like orders and shit like that. It was, and not a single penny, not a single penny. And one time, oh my god, I remember like one time I went into like the storage room, and there was the regional manager right there, and she was about to tell me, why the fuck are you not wearing any makeup? But then my mom came in, and she was like, oh, this is my daughter. And her face lit up. She was like, oh my god, thank god I didn't say that. Like I saw it on her face. And she was like, oh my god. And she was like, I was just about to say, like, how come she's not wearing any makeup? But she was like saying it jokingly, and like a smile, with like a cute smile on her face, So it would, yeah. So yeah, I was eating those sweet pecans, you know. I just like got my first job, which meant I had my own money, and my own dream was to always like when I pass by like those like uh peanuts shops and like spices and shit like that, to just like buy a shit ton of cashews or like pecans, because I love them. Okay, and as a kid, I mean, they're pricey, so my parents couldn't afford them, so it was like a treat, cashews or pecan. I'm giving myself like the munchies right now. But yeah, so like I on my way back from work at McDonald's, I just like stepped at one of these like shops and bought like a kilogram of pecans, like carameled pecans, and it was my favorite munch, absolutely. And I just couldn't stop eating them because I was just so high. I was tripping. I couldn't go to sleep either because I was tripping. I was absolutely tripping. Like I was just like in my own space. I was just like body awareness, the house, you know what I mean? Like I was just like feeling every nook and cranny, any crevice in my body that I didn't know existed. I could feel it then, you know. I could feel my teeth, like I could feel like the connection between my teeth, like, and that was like the experience, you know what I mean? And that was amazing. Like I love that because I'm an Aquarius. Hello, if I don't say it in every video, you know. So I love connecting with my inner world and connecting to myself, and in any way, you know. And this was a self-centering experience and like connecting experience. I guess that if she would have stayed, the experience would have been different. But so I'm glad that happened the way it did, but you know, it was still like weird, you know, because like you're super high and then your friend at like the middle of the night, all of a sudden her mom calls and she says she's at the hospital and she needs to go. Like that's scary. Like it doesn't matter in what circumstances, that's like weird, you know. That's like even if you're not high, you know. And at the fourth time that I was high and I smoked weed was with actually that friend's ex, because we were actually still friends at the time, because I didn't actually know the full story then. I didn't really know about the story at all, really, at that time. I just knew they were broken up and that he was a shithead, basically an asshole, because men are assholes, just in general, I guess. That's a very not frowned upon notion these days. I do think that some are exceptional, you know, because I want to believe that as humans, some humans are just filthy and disgusting and disgraceful and blasphemous, and some and some humans are just lovely and amazing and a wonderful present to the universe, you know. Some of them happen to be female, some of them happen to be male, some of them happen to be nothing on that scale. Um, but you know, some of them happen to be animals, some of them happen to be humans, actually, because not only humans can be wonderful and lovely and a present to the universe or a menace, you know. We're all part of the same dough. We are all the same cookie. Anyway, as I was saying, um, I'm trying to remember what I was trying to say. So I remember like it was my fourth time ever smoking weed. Actually, I think now, when I'm recalling the timeline between all of those periods when I was smoking, um, actually I'm thinking that, you know, weed was the thing that made me recover from anorexia, just because it helped me see it in a clear way. You know, it kind of like, if I had like a veil over my face, if like anorexia was that veil, you know, I just had it removed all of a sudden. I was like, wow, that's like bullshit. What I'm doing to myself is bullshit, you know? My expectations of how I want to look like, how I want my body to deteriorate and get bony as fuck is bullshit, you know? All of those um weight goals that I see people posting on Reddit, on shit like that, that's bullshit, because that's gonna fucking kill you. I don't know, I just had that click in me. And I'm pretty sure it was because I was like, you know, it was the introspection of the marijuana, you know. That's what I feel, because had I not had that veil removed over my face, I would have been dead by now. I was close. So it was the first time ever that I was smoking weed outside. And I remember that, first of all, I saw this guy as a like very good friend, because we knew each other for like years, even since, you know. Now I fucking despise this dude. Like this, he's like a walking, talking, breathing joke, you know. There's something about Pisces that they can only go two ways, you know? It's either you love the hell out of them and they're like your child, or you want to kill them and burn them alive. Like, there's never an in between. You know what I mean? It's like either they're like your little child or you want to burn them alive. If you're an Aquarius and you relate, comment and say that you relate, or if you don't, then tell me in the comment section. I would love to hear your astrological opinion about Pisces. Yeah. So I was also this time tripping as fuck, because imagine now it's a different playing field. Like, you're fucking outside. Like, anything is possible outside. It's not a controlled environment. It's outside. Like, cars are moving, people are walking and staring, and the stars are above your head, and there's street lights and fucking concrete floors and cement. Like, that is also like a thing that you start actually noticing everything that's actually around you in that environment, but you actually don't know if it's safe, because like you have never felt that way before, and it doesn't seem like something it is familiar, but it seems like something strange to you, alien to you, because you all of a sudden know about this deep connection that you have to everything around you, and you just need to process it, and you can't just process it at the same time you're experiencing it. That's why you feel like you're just like in a movie. That's how I'm gonna like describe it, because that's kind of like what it is. You kind of like feel like you're in a movie because of that, because you kind of like get high, I guess. The true actual meaning of the fact, like, why they call it like to get high, is because you actually kind of like detach from your body and get into your mind, which is like the highest part of your body actually. And that while you're high, your body is your head, your mind, your brain is the part of your body that is most activated, so you kind of like forget actual like feelings and most of your limbs, and like you forget like time and space, like what it means, like everything feels slow, but then everything feels too fast, and then you're cold but you're too warm, but you're too cold, and then I'm just giving you reasons why not to smoke, basically. I'm actually not telling this as a bad experience. That actually was a good experience for me. I loved it, other than the fact that like there's a story behind this like day, but like like it was a good getting high on marijuana experience, getting high on smoking weed, okay? Because then I would get high. Now I smoke weed. I think it's different, because then I was smoking knowingly that I'm going to get high and I'm going to not be here on this planet right now. And now it's much different, because I am definitely going to be here on this planet right now. I'm just gonna smoke some grass to chill out, to have a breather, to like do my meditation, to make suffering Karens more funny, things that would actually improve my life, you know. And also deep introspective work. You can't really do in my opinion, you can't really do shadow work in the best efficient way if you don't at least try the herb, because everything that's in your subconscious, it just like brings it up. Yeah, you just brings it up. That's why at the beginning, like a lot of people with like suppressed emotions or repressed emotions have a very bad trip smoking weed, you know, a very bad high, like cannabis experience, whatever you want to call it. um so yeah, it's because of that, because all of the biggest fears that they have been repressing for like years, you know, shoving them down their fucking soul, have come rising up, you know, and they want to confront you right now because that's what weed does, you know. But it's a gift, in my opinion. It's a gift because, like, first of all, for me specifically, I could always like recognize what is mine, you know, what thoughts are mine, and what like I talked about it in like my anorexia video, that like anorexia makes you be super controlling of your thoughts, right? So you control your thoughts in like the littlest, the most smallest things, right? I just like lost words right now in my mind, like they don't exist anymore. But yeah. So the littlest things, the smallest things. I actually forgot where I was going with this. Let me take a hit. Maybe I'll remember. Last time I did remember, so no, I don't remember. I actually don't remember. Um, but like, I'm trying to figure out where was I at? Like, sometimes the only reason that I do not like the fact that I'm not speaking with a person right here, but I'm speaking to a digital camera, computer, laptop thing, uh, is that nobody's here to actually like pick back on what I was saying, right? Because there's no one here. There's like this camera, and if I wanna stop the recording and like go back and look then I would have to edit this shit, and I'm not about to edit this fucking shit, okay? Because if I was about to edit this fucking shit, I would have done so many more other things by now. Like I would have I would have had real lighting, real camera, but your expectations are too high. Hunty, relax, girl. Okay, I'll stop. So I really forgot. Wow, I completely forgot where I was going with this. Oh, so yeah, so like I remember now. So like it brings all of your repressed emotions, suppressed emotions up. And for me, I was always a person that knew how to recognize my trauma and my feelings surrounding that trauma, and like perhaps not what was true to the core, you know, not exactly what was the core problem, but I knew exactly to know what is ricocheting, at least, you know. And I was always like good at like psychologically analyzing things for some reason. I don't know, I guess it's just like a inherent trait that I have. And as an Aquarius, with an Aquarius moon, can you please shut the fuck up? Like, yeah. Um, so when things from my past started like popping up and like rising and like confronting me, I wasn't like scared about it and I wasn't like stressed about it. I loved it because it actually felt like a relief. It felt like therapy. And actually, at the time, I was going to therapy, and my therapist was so bad. So bad. My therapist at the time was literally not only snitching to my mom and like everything that I say, and that when I come home it's not a safe place for me anymore because she's screaming at me, why did you say that, like what the fuck, like nobody does that, you have to sign a fucking form, like that's illegal, bitch. Like okay, I guess, but then she also fucking ghosted me. It was COVID times, and she was just like one day just ghosting me. It was a, our time to like meet up in Zoom, and she didn't send a link. And sometimes like she would like be delayed in like a day and didn't tell me, which was also like very annoying because like am I not a human? Like do I not deserve your explanation? Do I just need to sit here and feel like you fucking forgot about me? That's out. That's harsh. So anyway, that therapist was actually really bad, as you can clearly hear from what I'm telling you. Um, so actually, weed is what helped me start writing like a journal for my thoughts. Like on something on your phone, like something that you can always have with you and always like write in everything that you want, anything that you want, to get it off of your chest, to get it off your mind, because that helps clear it out, you know? And I guess since that time, I've became very persistent and making my dreams come true because weed made me realize that I have a higher calling, a higher purpose, you may say, right? And it's not something that I didn't know beforehand, but it just like made it expanded that feeling, right? That I am meant for something bigger. And I always knew that I would get somewhere in my life and I would be like in the public eye in some way, and I will be the first person in my family to become rich, self-made, and a woman also that's become self-made and rich and shit like that, off like making art and creating, you know. This is my dream, to create, to share with the world, like the gift of human creation, like that's why I feel like my, oh my god, I'm tearing up. That's why I feel like my creation, whenever it may be, music, traditional paintings, and like um my content creation on YouTube and my podcast and all of those places, I am the most authentic that I can be. Like I bring myself to the table, because if I don't bring myself to the table, like I might as well break the fucking table, you know what I mean? Like I feel like we as humans start forgetting how amazing it is to actually be a human and exist as a human in this world and co-create with the universe and coexist with animals and like the nature around us and all of those things. People really do forget that, I feel like. And I am really trying to make people remember that the actual art of this existence is us, Homo sapiens, people who can actually wonder and think and articulate, you know? Like, this is an incredible species, that we have become through some kind of evolution, whether you would like to call it spiritual evolution, whether you believe in the theory of evolution or whatever. I feel like we really have gone a long way and we haven't appreciated what we have become as humans. We just keep criticizing ourselves for like no avail, also, because we're not gonna change if we keep criticizing ourselves. But like, we don't love ourselves enough, as like a collective. I feel like as humans, we don't say, wow, I'm so happy I am a human, that I can coexist with animals around me in my surroundings, and coexist with nature, and love everything unconditionally, because this is my gift. I got this gift of feeling in an unarticulated way, in such a deep way of how humans feel, right? That I can love anything and everything unconditionally. People don't think like that. I don't know why. Like, I don't know what is wrong with you, people. Like, you can actually love everything. Isn't it amazing? And that is also something that I always knew, because, like I said, I grew up religious, and in every Abrahamic religion, and I think in every religion at all, there is like a sense that God is in everything, right? Um, in like inanimate objects, in the wind, in water, in every a body part that we have. Like, God is literally in everything, and I do believe that. Like, the definition of God doesn't really matter, but I believe, like I said, I don't know if I actually said this on, like, camera here. I said it on my podcast, definitely, that I believe that this world, I'm more of a Taoist, so I believe that this world has a very unique origin of energy that yields creation, and it's basically the Tao, and it created the world, this energy, right? This accumulation of specific energy, basically on a specific frequency or whatever. It's something that we can't understand, and I also like respect that completely, because I'm a fucking human. We're not the end of the spiritual evolution or like physical evolution, whatever you believe in. It keeps going, right? So there's something we can evolve into. So I'm not gonna sit here and say we can understand everything, because we really cannot, in this limited mindset that we have as humans, as Homo sapiens. Perhaps one day we will turn into something wonderful and magical and different and more evolved in its understanding of the infinite, But for now, we can't really wrap our minds around this subject as much as we'd like to. So I feel like this infinite force is not really to be understood, but its meaning is what really matters, because it means that there is one specific force, right? Doesn't matter where it's coming from, but it's always existing, never ceases, right? And doesn't claim anything. No, you never see something, okay, says, oh, God made me. Oh, I was created by God. Oh, I'm the God's creation. No, because it doesn't like claim anything. It doesn't create to claim. It creates to create. It's amazing. I don't know how to explain it, and that means that there is a specific that specific energy source in everything that exists, because for it to exist, it needs that creation energy, that energy that gives life to anything that we can see, we can touch, we can feel, we can smell, hear, see, whatever, sense, even energetically, spiritually, all of those things. It has to be made out of a specific form of energy that I believe exists in everything. So that made me love everything, because I believe that God was in everything, that like I'm a very moral person, so like I wouldn't like to like spit at the floor, because people who smoke tobacco, like my parents, always like have to spit, because it's like disgusting like that in their throat, the tobacco. So I always saw that, and like I one time like heard that it might be disrespectful to like God if you uh uh spit on the ground, basically, because the ground is God. So you're spitting at God's creation. And then after I heard that, like I was like overhearing somebody else's conversation. I was a kid in like primary school, like 6, I would say, perhaps even younger. And I just wouldn't spit at the floor. I would look at them spitting on the floor, and I would be like, don't they know that's God? Like, they're spitting on God. Like, karma's gonna get you. Like, you're going to hell. Like, bro, like, you're spitting on God. No, I'm kidding. I wasn't like that. But, like, like, that's how I was thinking, because I was like, oh my God, it has feelings. It has emotions. This thing that exists, I care about it like I care about my own body, I feel like the saying, we are the universe experiencing itself in a human form, is basically like allowing me to feel like everything is an extension of myself, basically, you know? Because if I am the universe, and the universe is also everything, is in everything also, then what actually differentiates me from other things, you know? I can naturally migrate towards anything, which means I can also attract anything I am into my reality, which means I can like knowingly change myself in ways I want. Does that make sense? I feel like it does make sense, but I feel like I'm also going on a ramble here, because like that's a lot of information that I just spat out, And I feel like this episode is like long enough. Did you see? Like, I was just like shedding. Yeah, so I hope you actually enjoyed this video. The reason I wanted to make this video is because I just watched my idol, not really, but kind of, Johnny Gilbert, like, have a video that he posted like 2 years ago, and bro, I didn't catch up, and he was like talking about how he smokes weed, and like recently I've been like watching him again, and like I'm telling myself like, yo, this dude is like stoned. This dude is so stoned. And like I saw this video and I was like fangirling. I was like, oh my God, like 14-year-old me would have been like fangirling as fuck right now, Also thinking that like like somebody you like admire from afar and think like their life is something that you would like to experience one day is actually not, first of all, not that far as you think it is, and second of all, they're kind of like the same age as you, and that's kind of like weird, because like when you kind of like get to that position and they are still in that position, or like they also get like forward in life or whatever, it's like it's so weird to like reflect and be like, yo, like a few years ago, like they were doing this and I was doing like completely different thing. Like, how can life change in that little of time, you know what I mean? But yeah, so that made me kind of like want to make my own video on like weed and like my experiences with weed, because as you know me, I have literally a full podcast that is called Hits Blunt, that the whole fucking concept is me and my friends getting stoned as fuck and just like spitting bars at the microphone. Philosophy, anthropology, sociology, politics sometimes. It's very interesting here. Very interesting. So, yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys right now. I'm gonna finish my fat ass joint, and I had a fun time talking to you, and I hope to see you in a different video soon. Bye bye. Oh my god, I didn't tell you. I finished the video and I didn't tell you about what happened to me today. You know what? If you stayed until right now, then you actually deserve to know. All of the other people, they're in the Matrix. They don't deserve to know, you know what I mean? So today, I like yesterday I kind of like uploaded a very risky podcast episode, and I'm not gonna lie, like I am proud of that as fuck. I'm proud of that as fuck because I just said everything I've ever wanted to say. And honestly, if you know why I even started my podcast, is because of the podcast No Jumper. Like, I just love them so much. I was listening to like podcasts throughout the years, like Small Town Murder and like Know Thyself, and like so many like different like cults and religious things, and like Satanism things. I'm not a Satanist, but I just like was interested in knowing like that movement as well, you know, just like gaining knowledge, you know, about that movement in general, just like as like general references. And I just loved No Jumper because it was the most authentic podcast out there. Everybody was just like yelling at the microphone. Everybody was an OnlyFans girl, wasn't an OG. I don't know what, you know, was is playing the game. You know what I mean? Shot somebody, was beaten by it's his mom. I don't know. Like, you get all these rappers and like hoes. I'm sorry I'm saying that, but I love hoes, so like that's why I'm saying that. Saying it's not a demeaning thing. Actually, it's I love women. Hi, women. So like you see all of them speaking about their life story and like about drama and scandals that they have and shit like that, and you see like Adam 22, like the fucking host, just like being a white dude in this like very black dominant industry, just like sitting there, right, and like making a mockery out of everybody, and just like being on the top of his game and being in control of this host like shenanigans, and like asking them like the most on point questions and shit like that. And of course Adam 22 is a human like all of us, and always like humans will fuck up in any way. And but the idea of the fucking podcast, that would just like hit me, and I was like, yo, that's what I want. I want people fucking shouting at the microphone. I want people fucking up uploading the scandals. Like, I want that, you know? This is what I want. Yeah. So, and I want us to like smoke weed the whole podcast, or like do LSD, you know? Be esoteric like that, you know? And I don't condone, like I said. And yeah, and like something kind of like happened, you know, that made me um release a podcast episode that has a tea spill on like almost all of the podcast guests that previously were I hosted on my show. um some of them will never come back, and I stated their reasons why they will never come back, and like weird interactions that I've had with those people concerning like the podcast and like things surrounding it and everything like that. But like the last part of that podcast was about a very recent fight that I had with my friends, that the beginning of it was mentioned on like the I woke up Saturday morning to an ongoing war video that I uploaded on the 7th of October, when everything went down in my country, you know, like when everything literally blew up in my fucking country. Uh, so, um, so yeah, it was like about my friends like bullying me into like being scared about the war because I was calm, and I don't know. And then like I hosted a Halloween party, and they said, "Why are you celebrating anything when people are dying and getting murdered, and women are getting raped, and children are like getting kidnapped to Gaza?" And I'm like, Oh, okay. Like, we're just trying to like live our lives and like try to stay alive and not kill ourselves, and like, you know, bring happiness into what we can. Like, it was on the 19th, so like it wasn't like super fresh, but it was like kind of fresh, you know. But it wasn't super fresh, you know. We, you know, like people from different I don't need to explain that. Okay. Anyway, um a week after, literally like a week after, or like 2 weeks after, we literally have had like another Halloween party that we're like invited to. And then she saw like they, I guess both of, I don't know, saw pictures from it, you know. um it's like both of like my best friends previously, but like, you know. So she saw the pictures and she was like, oh my god, like you weren't inviting me, like I'm so upset, like why didn't you invite me? And I was like, you just like said, what the fuck are you celebrating when people are dying and getting kidnapped and murdered? So like I would think that you think this way, you know. Never mind. Anyway, so this is, I spoke about our quarrel on the podcast basically, and I said everything with factual information, and I didn't say anything particularly bad about them, and not treat like, not diminishing them in any way, just telling the story. And yes, I got a little emotional in a sense of like I made a few sarcastic jokes here and there, but everybody's allowed to do that. Like, I'm not sorry about any of that. So what happened today is that I went to my mom's, because like every other kid that doesn't live at his parents' house, I go and visit my mom's on the weekends. So I didn't think anything of it, but apparently, all of a sudden, like my neighbor sends me like um a message and tells me like the girls are gone. Like, if you need to speak with someone, like I'm right here. And I'm like, what the fuck? What do you mean the girls are gone? What girls? What? So she calls me and she tells me like what happened, and they were here at my house, like at my door, banging, slamming the fucking door, shouting, screaming. And you know, I live in a divided apartment with a young girl that's kind of like around my age, like 20, I would say. 22 max, 23 max. And then in the third apartment, there is a 70, 80-year-old woman that is blind. Okay? Blind. Okay? And like, imagine, with all the situation right now, both of them are so fucking cute also. They don't fucking deserve to have this fucking heart attack, okay? Because imagine, you live in a war zone right now, right? And you feel like anytime a terrorist is gonna come fucking knock your door down and like break everything, start shooting everybody, you know. You don't know what's gonna happen, you know. It's an ongoing war. So they thought it was actual terrorists coming to get them, you know, because what reason, while a war is going on, would there be loud bangings and shouting and screaming and like, you know, what else would that be, you know? So they thought immediately they're gonna die, you know. um Thankfully, my neighbor, like the 20-year-old neighbor, like she called the police and everything like that. But that was like so fucking absurd. Like, that was like crossing a line. You know, like how on YouTube recently there was like a thing with Sniper Wolf and like a dude that was criticizing her, that she literally went up to his house, and because she's like a pretty girl and she has tits, then like nobody gives a shit if she fucking comes and fucking harasses this dude at his house, comes to his house. Might as well knock on the front door, right? Like, that's what I mean. And they like literally did the same. they fucking like threatened to like sue me, like file a police report against me for like uploading this podcast with the very true information that has evidence and isn't slandering anything other than telling my story of the experience. You know, there is a thing called freedom of speech. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's real. And this is the reason I have this microphone in my hand right now. And I know you don't like it, and I know it challenges you, but I don't give a fuck because I have a mouth to speak and I have a Mercury and Capricorn to articulate my thoughts in a way that I could share them with people to expand their knowledge or entertain them in any intellectual way. Okay? And this is my calling, this is my meaning. And if that bothers you, then fuck you, you know? That's what I'm gonna say. Because they were just pissed off that I was exposing the truth of what happened between us. And I wasn't like playing the little victim, and I wasn't like, oh, I'm so sad they're not friends with me anymore. No, I'm not actually fucking sad. I'm actually happy because that's not how friends actually act. I actually cleared up enemies that were actually disguising themselves as best friends. Do you know how fucking dangerous that is? Wow. Because they get super close to you. One knock, like, and it's over. People who want to kick you when you're down would want to, like, they always want to kick you. They just wait until that moment that you're down, you know, because they will wait. They will stay there. And you would think that because they stay there for you, is, and I'm not talking about these specific girls particularly, I'm talking about in general, right? That like trope, right? You would think that they stay with you because they're loyal to you, but actually they want to stay because they want to win. They want to see you get down, basically. They want to see you beat down and then beat the shit out of you. And then get out of it with a feeling of, yo, I'm so much better than them. I was so much better than them all this time. Why? Because they need that fucking ego boost. They're super insecure and they can't fucking actually appreciate you for who you are because they're jealous of you. Because you can appreciate yourself for who you are and other people for who you are, you know? So these are like low vibrational people, and like we don't need to be concerning ourselves with the goings of their lives and shit like that. Like, we're fine, actually better off minding our own business. So yeah, and actually now I'm gonna actually finish this video because there's a message I actually want to respond to, and I want to finish this joint. So good night, and I love you. Bye bye.